From restaurants to writers to kung fu flicks, whether you realize it or not, our culture has been shaped by Chinese immigrants, their kids, and their grandkids. I'm Dolly, welcome to AJ Plus. This Sunday, we're gonna talk to you about why people left China in the first place and how they ended up here in the US. Chinese people have been coming to the US for more than 150 years to pursue economic opportunities, escape political unrest, and seek higher education. To help make this explanation easier, we're going to break this down into 4 periods. Though over 4 million Chinese people live in the US today, at the beginning, these numbers are pretty small. The first group of immigrants left because of political instability and news of golden jobs in California. Back in the 1850s, the cities up and down the Pearl River Delta, including Guangzhou, were hubs for international trade. Many people in this area left to pursue better opportunities abroad. At the same time, the Taiping Rebellion and the Opium Wars led others to flee poverty and instability. Meanwhile, gold was discovered in California and extra hands were needed to build the Transcontinental Railroad. And these forces kicked off the first wave of Chinese immigration. But what started out as job opportunities in America took an ugly turn: discrimination and violence. White laborers felt like Chinese immigrants were threatening their jobs and took extreme measures to get rid of them. They burnt down Chinatowns, publicly lynched Chinese people, and passed racially targeted laws. This is how we ended up with the Chinese Exclusion Act, the first US law restricting immigration based on race. After the act was passed, the Chinese population started to drop, until World War II. At the start of World War II, Japan had invaded China for the second time.
The most intensively bombed spot in all the world is the wartime capital of free China.
By the end of the war, 15 million Chinese people had died, and China was in a communist nationalist civil war. China and the US became allies to defeat Japan, but the Chinese Exclusion Act was still in place. So the very people who were fighting alongside the Americans were not even allowed to come into the country. After World War II, the US realized this irony and repealed the laws, but was mostly for appearance. An immigration quota was set for just 105 Chinese immigrants each year. By 1945, the War Brides Act passed. This law allowed spouses and children to join men in the US. Before then, the Chinese immigrants were mainly made up of bachelors. And from here, the Chinese American community really started to develop. In this third period, immigrants left because Mao's policies led to widespread famine and persecution of many people, including intellectuals. Life got even more desolate in the 1950s and 60s. The Great Leap Forward, Mao's campaign to industrialize the country, caused one of the worst famines of the 20th century. Soon after, Mao launched the Cultural Revolution, a campaign to purge the country of everyone deemed Western or bourgeois, including students, professors, and doctors. The revolution was violent and bloody. This changed the makeup of who left China. Those who had the means to and were willing to risk their lives fled. And here's journalist John Pomfret, the former bureau chief of the Washington Post in China, to explain why this was so important.
The push factor from China was the chaos, the political backbiting, the attacks on Western education that were being carried out by Mao Zedong and the Communist Party. And that pushed huge numbers of Chinese to vote with their feet by going to Hong Kong and then getting access to the United States through family reunification.
Meanwhile, the civil rights movement was in full swing, leading to the passage of the Immigration Act of 1965, officially ending the 105 quota. Here, the Chinese population really started to pick up. The majority came from Hong Kong and Taiwan, including some mainland Chinese refugees. And many were coming to study in American universities. By this time, the Chinese population had shifted from mainly blue-collar workers to white-collar workers. From 1950 to 1960, the Chinese population doubled. After Mao died, Deng Xiaoping came to power. He was known for opening up the Chinese economy to more free market principles. By 1990, we started seeing signs of a growing economy in China. Despite the economic reforms, China's government remained strict on protests and public dissent. When the Tiananmen Square crackdown happened in 1989, over 70,000 Chinese students got permanent residency in the US. The following year, the US introduced the EB-5 visa, something that allowed rich foreigners to essentially buy permanent residency with $500,000 to $1 million business investment. This program wasn't that popular in its first 18 years, but that really started to change as China's economy skyrocketed. Today's immigrants are wealthier than they have been in the past. Most who leave are looking to pursue business opportunities, live in a better environment, and get an American education. China's economy has really taken off in the last 20 years. By 2010, their extreme poverty rate fell to 12%, down from nearly 90% in 1981. That happened in less than 40 years, and this completely changed who wanted to emigrate to the United States. Here's Sean Pomfret again to explain how today's immigrants are different from immigrants of the past.
The push factor is now more so issues of potential economic opportunity, the search for a better life, clean food, cleaner air, cleaner water.
Compared to the 90s, Chinese immigration slowed down at the turn of the century. The economic boom in China created more opportunities at home. So in the last few minutes, we told you about more than 100 years of immigration history. From the poor to the persecuted to the wealthy, the Chinese American story ranges. And like all immigrants, there's always been more than one side. The dreams of a better life and the challenges they've left behind. You guys, we just did a 3-part series that looks at Chinese American immigration and diaspora in the US through the lens of food. So if you like this, take a look at our series. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and see you guys next Sunday.